So the big question is this: how do most agents who struggle to get the information that most successful agents hoard to themselves grow and prosper without this information? That's the big question, and this video cast is the answer. Welcome to Real Estate Rockstars. I'm your host, Pat Hyben. Okay, Rockstar Nation. Wow, we have a returning guest, but guess what? This guest was on so long ago that he doesn't even remember being on. He swore up and down he wasn't on. He was way back like around 100. Now we're pushing 600 episodes, and I'm so excited because he's my personal brother from another mother, good friend for decades, and somebody I admire and look up to. He was just massively full of wisdom and saying stuff that is just so true. He understands the real estate community. He used to be one of the top agents at Century 21. Totally reached a Serenity Now moment. If you saw Seinfeld, you know what that moment is like with George's father, and then went into flipping and investing, and then following the hero's journey of Joseph Campbell, he's coming down from the mountaintop now, helping others, giving back to those who've given so much to him, and so it's an honor that I'm able to present you guys, and you guys are going to want to have papers and pencils ready because we're going to get into some deep stuff here today. So without further ado, welcome back, Mr. Tim Rhode.
Hey, Pat Hyben, it's great to be on your show, man. Thanks for having me on, bro.
Hey, Tim, other than what I mentioned, I want to tell our audience a little bit about you personally. Any personal stuff you want to add to that?
Well, let me give them, for those that didn't listen to the other interview, quick. I was the kid in the back of your class throwing spit wads at you, not paying attention, looking out at the mountains, doing anything but paying any attention to the teachers. And it got me off to a late start in life. And I was lucky enough to find my niche selling real estate, sold a ton, lived well within my means, invested wisely, and got to retire at 40 financially free. So I probably do have a few nuggets for y'all.
Yeah, and Tim inspired me. I sold my team at 46 and decided at that time that I had enough freedom chips or enough horizontal lines of income to do what Tim did. And he was my inspiration for wanting to do that. So after I met him, I learned how, and we're going to teach you guys too. So Tim, let's first of all, I want to start in the beginning because what you did is pretty phenomenal at 40. There's a lot of real estate agents, a lot of people in the real estate agent game that want to do this, right? They do not want to be knocking on FSBO's doors at 75 years old, but the fact of the matter is they're in a tunnel. There's a train coming. They don't know what to do. They're just not. They say that they don't want to be there. They don't want to be that 75-year-old FSBO knocker, but yet they're not doing anything about it. So let's talk about that and talk about like how you got out of the rat race and what you recommend to others out there that are listening.
Well, first of all, it's a matter of effort and a matter of working smart, not necessarily hard. And I think one of the most important things from the book, The E-Myth, is getting out of that tunnel vision and working on your business, not necessarily in your business. And let's take that a step further. The things we teach in One Life Fully Lived is it's not just the business part, but the business of you, if you think about it. It's the holistic person that you are. And a lot of times people are, let's take selling real estate, trying to sell real estate, and there's other pieces of their life that may need some tweaking that would lead to them being more successful in all areas. But let's concentrate on the business piece. The way I put it, it's hard to roll down the road of life with a broken wheel. And think about that. Maybe you're in a bad relationship. Maybe you're have a drinking or alcohol problem. Maybe you're severely overweight. But there may be something that's the elephant on your back, monkey on your back, elephant in the room, monkey on your back, whatever it is, that needs to be addressed before you can really kick ass like you need to.
Wow. Okay. All right, good. So let's dig into that, right? So give us some specific how-tos, right? Here, I'm an agent. Like you said, I'm an agent. I make I make $100,000, and I after I pay my taxes, I got $3,000 left. What's wrong with that? I live pretty nice. I got a nice car. I got a nice house. I got a guy that cuts my yard for me. From the outside, I look pretty good, pretty successful. What does your idea look like, or how were you able to shun that image and do what you did?
Well, first of all, good for you for listening to this podcast, because that tells us something. That tells us that you're not satisfied with who you are and where you are, or you wouldn't be listening to this. So good for you. You're on the right track, because you're doing the second most important piece in all of this. First most important piece is taking an audit of the things that matter the most in life. And I address some of them, but how's my health? How's my mental health? How's my vitality? How's who I'm hanging around with? How's my work ethic? These are some of the clues that tell you whether you're on the right track. And I suggest you take an audit of the things that matter most and look for what we call leakage, or things that aren't leaking. Leakage is in your budget when you're spending a lot of money on that fancy car that Madison Avenue told you needed, and now you have a $700 a month payment on it that you probably don't need, as one example.
So what's realistic then, Tim? In the Tim Rhode world, right? If I'm making $8,000 a month, let's say, right, which is decent. That's a couple of commissions, depending on the market you're in, anywhere from 1 to say 3, 4, 5 commissions, selling houses. How much money should I have? And you coined a term, LTI, which stands for left to invest, which is the amount of money after you pay your taxes, after you pay your bills, after you do everything, that you have to invest in real estate. What should my LTI be, as a percentage or as a number, if I'm making $8,000 a month?
Well, I'm going to give you a complex example. It depends. Okay, and let me go
that on this podcast. We need specifics.
Okay, but let me go somewhere at this.
All right, go ahead. I'll let you.
All right. So first year in business, I'm making $60,000 a year, and I'm spending around $30,000 because that's what it cost me to live as a grocery clerk, right? And then my income went up to $90,000. Then it went up to $150,000. Then it went up to $220,000. Then it went to $300,000. Then it went to $500,000, and my expenses went from $30,000 to $60,000 to $80,000 to $90,000 to $100,000. So when I'm making $500,000 a year, I'm only spending $100,000. Here's what I've seen in the business, Pat, is people that make $100,000, $200,000, $500,000, $750,000, $1 million, $1.5 million spend $99,000, $249,000, $499,000, $749,000, $1.199. They spend every freaking dime as their income goes up,
yes,
and they have zero left to invest.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Well, what should I have left to invest?
A lot. so
as much as possible, you're saying.
As much as possible. And it's I never knew a percent. I just knew.
What'd you do?
I said it before. My income went 60, 90, 120, 180, 300, 500. When I was making 500, I was only spending 100. When I was making 300, I was spending.
Basically, keep your expenses the same and save every single dime.
It's don't change your lifestyle.
Don't change your lifestyle. Yeah.
Defense wins championship.
I want you to think about the word toolbox. What is a toolbox? A toolbox is a box
full of tools that you use to build something great. At Real Estate Rockstars, we've created our own free toolbox. So everybody that comes on the show as a guest brings a tool with them, and we plow them all into this toolbox, and we give it away for our viewing audience to basically use as they wish. Everything we put in there is an actionable item that can be downloaded, can be printed, can be used immediately. And we got things like scripts and dialogues, checklists for teams, checklists to keep agents accountable, referral forms that are filled out at settlement to get referrals by your buyers and sellers. Everything you could think of that you could use on a regular basis about real estate is included in this toolbox. And it's helping agents worldwide sell more houses and make their jobs a lot easier and processes much more efficient. And the thing is, it's absolutely free. All you got to do is go to hibandigital.com/toolbox or text the word toolbox to 444-999. That's toolbox 444-999. Do it now. Whoa,
Okay.
say that again.
Defense wins championships. Vince Lombardi, football coach. And what I mean by that is defense is living within your means. Let's start with a concept. It's the A minus B equals C. Pretty simple. A is income from all sources. Let's take that realtor making $100,000. How can you do 5 more commissions a year and get it up to 150? How can you flip a house a year? How can you buy a new rental for another income stream there? How can you do a note that pays 15% interest that brings in some income? So you're thinking that's offense. How can I increase my A as offense? B is what's it cost me to run my business and what's it cost me to run my life? And where's the leakage? And this is the part everybody misses. This is why we have so few friends that are financially free. They don't pay attention to the B.
The B.
It's the B, bro. And that's the defense part. It's the not exciting part. And I hate to say it, but young people are the worst. There's a lot of young people making a lot of money, but they're just spending it as fast as they can make it. And see these gray hairs? I want you to listen to this quote. You're either going to when you're in your 50s, you're getting closer to 60, you're either going to hug yourself or curse yourself for the financial choices, the financial and physical choices you make in your 20s and 30s.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow, that's deep, Timmy. Yeah, but ain't it the truth, right? You're either going to hug yourself or curse yourself.
Yeah. So I got friends that are around my age. Their physical health is horrible. They can't do much at all. They don't have the money to do it if they could do it. And I got other friends who are just, loving life because they did the right things all along. And this stuff's really important, you guys.
So guys, at the end of the day, if you keep your means low, right, and just start saving every dime over, your means after taxes, you are going to automatically start saving a percentage that's 40, 50% of what you're making. And the key that allowed Tim to retire at 40 as a real estate agent, and allowed me to retire at 46 essentially, was taking that money and investing it in real estate. Let's talk a little bit about that, Tim. Like what was the first rental property you bought, and how'd you buy from there, and what are you owning today?
Well, so let me back up on one important piece. I talked about how the second piece is listening to podcasts like this. It's all about education. And it's all about learning how to sell more real estate, reading books like The Wealthy Barber on how to play better defense. And then it's learning all about how to invest wisely. And I think that's an important piece to put in there before we talk about what specifically to invest in. And that's educating yourself on what you're going to invest in. And none of our friends buy mutual funds. We just don't do the traditional investing route. What we do is we find singles, doubles, some home runs in single family homes, duplexes, and then exchanged up from there. But it's just singles and doubles in single family homes, duplexes, real estate notes, stuff that
You're gonna have to define that. What do you mean by singles and doubles? I know it's a baseball analogy, but for those listening that might be perplexed.
everybody's always trying to hit the home run. They don't want to invest until they find that incredible, great deal. And you know, for you folks that are listing and selling real estate, there's deals around you every single day that come across your desk, you know, that are talked about in the office. And we're suggesting you become your own best customer. And part of your business is to increase your income, but your whole emphasis should be on achieving financial freedom over time. And those singles and doubles are just small deals that you do until you can exchange into the home runs and grand slams.
Wow. Yeah. Makes a lot of sense. And I'm with you 100%. You know, don't be afraid to just, people, you know, they want to wait for this, like you said, like this internet stock that's going to propel them to whatever, or they put all their money into their company. You know, they're putting it up. Like I talk to people on the show and they're like, well, I'm like, what'd you invest in with all this profit? And they're like, well, I put it back into my team. No. That's not a, you know, I mean, it's going to be hard to tell whether you're going to be able to sell your team or not, quite frankly. And you know, that's not it. The diversification is the key, to take that money and invest it in a vehicle that's not attached to the team, that's not attached to your real estate endeavor or your company. If you just own a small company, you know, the whole thing is you want to spread out and start doing singles and doubles, not put all your cash into this home run that you may or may not have.
Pat, that's absolutely ingenious. And if you remember when we were selling your book, 6 Steps to 7 Figures, I hadn't been around anybody in the real estate industry for years. And I went to a Keller Williams convention and we were selling your books. And I saw a lot of my old friends from Howard Brinton days and Mike Ferry days. I was on panels with these people, and I'd been skiing for 7 years. And I ran into some old friends. How you doing, man? And a lot of them had been wiped out in the downturn of 2007, and they put all their money into their teams and didn't siphon money off into passive income. And like Pat was just suggesting, and when the downturn came, that one thing they'd put their money in got washed out. So really good advice there, Pat. And one other thing I want to say, a great game to play to mimic what we're talking about is Robert Kiyosaki's cash flow game.
Yeah,
I highly recommend that. Everything we're talking about here is taught in that game.
Yeah, and guys, you know, there's tons of stuff to invest in that's not your traditional investments. You know, some people are just so afraid of the small deals. You know, they're like, oh, no, I don't want to invest. There's nothing for me to buy that gives me cash flow. And I said, well, what if you drove an hour away from your house and found some little property and not so good of a neighborhood? You know, what would it cost? Oh, I could get one for $65,000. Well, then buy it. You know, you got to start somewhere. Buy it, rent it out, Section 8, do something, you know, make $75 a month, but just get your feet wet and get in the mode of investing. So you have something outside of your real estate business. I mean, and you know, Tim told us when the first day I ever met Tim was in Chicago at a wealth building seminar. And what was our discussion? What was my big aha from that, Tim, if you remember that meeting?
Yeah, it was passive income and multiple streams of income. And it was funny because I met Pat and David, and they were texting each other how many hours they worked in a day. And they said, Tim, what do you do? And I said, I ski. And they said, how can you ski? And I said, well, I sold a lot of real estate. I lived well within my means. I invested wisely. And I have 17 properties throwing off around 20 grand a month. And my expenses are only 10 grand a month. So I don't have to work anymore. And by the way, I don't make a heck of a lot more than that today. But it doesn't matter because I don't have high means. I drive a 10-year-old Subaru. Look at my jewelry.
I want you to think about the word toolbox. What is a toolbox? A toolbox is a box full of tools that you use to build something great. At Real Estate Rockstars, we've created our own free toolbox. So everybody that comes on the show as a guest brings a tool with them, and we plow them all into this toolbox, and we give it away for our viewing audience to basically use as they wish. Everything we put in there is an actionable item that can be downloaded, can be printed, can be used immediately. And we got things like scripts and dialogues, checklists for teams, checklists to keep agents accountable, referral forms that are filled out at settlement to get referrals by your buyers and sellers. Everything you could think of that you could use on a regular basis about real estate is included in this toolbox. And it's helping agents worldwide sell more houses and make their jobs a lot easier and processes much more efficient. And the thing is, it's absolutely free. All you got to do is go to hibandigital.com/toolbox or text the word toolbox to 444-999. That's toolbox 444-999. Do it now.
I just don't care about what.
You're not a baller for sure, right?
There's $1 worth of jewelry there. Yeah. I don't care what Madison Avenue says. I care about providing financial security for my family and getting the goods, enjoying life's goods, and that's what matters to me.
Yeah, I wish more agents would come to a realization of this, and I'm hoping they will. I'm especially where we're at now. A lot of people high flying and making more money and spending more money. What's your opinion on what's down the pike? You think this market's going to continue, Tim, or based on the ups and downs that you've seen in your real estate buying and selling history? What do you think we got to look forward to? Is there a train coming down the tracks, or is now more than ever important to save?
I'm not in the trenches, every day to see. I used to track everything really diligently. I still keep a macro eye on everything. Candidly, I don't see anything that's stopping the train right now. I live out in the West near Reno, Nevada. It is exploding. I have friends in the Central Valley where I used to sell real estate. Everybody I talk to, everywhere I go, they can't find enough good help. There's a lot of construction going on. There's just a lot of really good things happening that tells me, there's nothing structurally coming in the next year or two. So,
that's great. I mean, that's great to hear. And I've read some articles recently too. They're like, hey, it is very possible that, and there's no reason why this market shouldn't stop, getting better and better or maintaining as it has.
Hey, I'm going to touch on something.
Yeah.
Let's say it doesn't. Let's say it all just blows up and melts down. Remember the last time that happened and the stock market, I believe it went from around 11,000 down to 6,000.
Yeah.
What did that bring?
What did it bring? Opportunity. Right.
Yeah. And so, I think if the worst case things melt down, just save your money because it's not like it's not going to bounce back.
I think the best advice is just, pretend like it is going to crash, and hopefully it really won't. But if you're pretending like it will, like you said, you're going to hug yourself when you're 65, when you're 60, whatever, right? You're not going to curse. You'll never curse yourself for living below your means. It's just, I don't think anybody dies and just says, damn, I wish I'd spent every cent, because it just gives you a level of security and you feel much more at peace, and you could live such a better lifestyle, knowing that you have 15, 20 rentals, knowing that you have, investments that are paying you. And Tim and I own, together, right outside of our hometown investments, about 6 or 7 apartment buildings together, a shopping center. We invest in notes. We just loaned some money to a bunch of lawyers who are paying us 18% return. There's a lot of things that we have that we communicate to each other about that are paying us sideways. And so we're both doing labors of love. I'm doing, real estate rock stars and Rebus University, which I enjoy very much doing. And Tim is doing his charity, which he very much enjoys doing. Let's touch on that, Tim. Let's talk about the evolution of One Life Fully Lived, how you and I started, along with David Osborne, GoBundance, which is a mastermind for people that want to have passive and horizontal income like you and I have. And how then you decided, hey, let's take this down a level and help those below that level of people. And you created your own charity, One Life Fully Lived. Tell us the story there.
Well, so GoBennetts is a mastery level of One Life Fully Lived. GoBennetts is healthy, wealthy, generous men who choose to lead epic lives. We're living at a mastery level of the things I talked about before that really matter in life. One Life Fully Lived is having people get down life's basics. And our core teachings are, who am I at my core? What's my dream? What's my written plan? How will I fund it? And how will I be healthy enough to pull off this magnificent life I was put here to live? So One Life has you master all these basics so you can take your life to another level. And we have a conference twice a year, one on the West Coast, one on the East Coast. We have one coming up October 21st and 22nd in Sacramento, California. They should cost like $5,000 for the amazing talent we bring in. They're only, right now it's $325. And this is 2 days. We feed lunch both days. We have a free dinner that's also a fundraiser for us. And it's just amazing. No one sleeps for 2 days because everybody there is tuned in, turned on about their lives, and also helping others get somewhere with their lives. So turned into an amazing thing.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're pulling people up one by one. You've had several people that you've changed their lives, right, by just getting them to think on more of a think like business people.
Yeah, we've had some incredible stories. One of my favorites is a friend of mine, Jessica. She lives in Reno. Went to her first conference about 4 years ago, and was in a bad marriage, and her husband was less than supportive. They were financially in a bad way. They're just, everything was not going well in her life, and this conference kind of slapped her upside the head and had her realize this. She left her husband, left her job, short-sailed her house, declared bankruptcy.
Damn, what a year.
Yeah. It was, and she just took her medicine. She took her lumps, and she's coming back to the conference in Sacramento this year with her kids because we have sessions for young people. And she is with a great new guy, whole new career, thriving other business, bought a new house, turned her finances around, absolutely just changed everything. And she's probably one of my favorite stories, but we've had hundreds of success stories. And one other thing I want to touch on, Pat, we also do these really cool inner city programs. The day before our conference, it's called Dare to Dream, where we go into the just most challenged middle schools and high schools and have our teachers work with these kids and help them, figure out what's my dream, what's my plan, how am I going to pull off this most magnificent life. And we did one of those in Philadelphia back in May, and we're doing our second one in Sacramento. And that's the work I'm most excited about is helping the kids and the ones that need it the most just get the tools and have them realize the saying that really sums it up is, if it is to be, it's up to
me.
Yeah, baby.
I love that. I love that saying. I love that saying. So Timmy's got, the One Life Conference is coming up, Sacramento in October and Philadelphia in May. Got the East Coast, West Coast. Tim, I'm going to put all the links to all of One Life Fully Lived. I'm going to put a link to Timmy's free gift, which is the One Life Roadmap, which is a roadmap. Tell us about the One Life Roadmap.
Well, the roadmap is our core teachings. It's the classes I talked about. We call it the class you wish you had in school. And it's who am I? What's my dream? What's my plan? How will I fund it? And how will I be healthy enough to pull it off? We also have, for our conference in Sacramento, a special code for you guys, One Life Rockstar. That's the number one. One Life Rockstar, all one word. You put that code in when you go to register, and the conference is $75 off. So,
that's awesome. And what's the date on that, Timmy?
It's October 21st and 22nd in Sacramento, California. $89 hotel rooms. We try to make everything
and these
reasonable.
Conferences don't really cost anything anyways, right? They're only how much do they cost to go to?
It's $325 right now, $395 at the door.
So they're dirt cheap anyways. I mean, compared to like a Anthony Robbins or something like that, it's dirt cheap. And Tim does it this way on purpose because at the end of the day, it's a nonprofit. He ain't making any money on this thing. So,
trust me.
So it's all volunteer. So if you want to volunteer for the Dare to Dream, or you want to volunteer for speaking or something for One Life, or you just want to come, you want to bring your kids, you want to bring anybody, want to come yourself, it's all going to be there on hibandigital.com/Tim Rhode 2, and that's RHODE, Tim RHODE, and the number 2. Timmy, this has been brilliant. Thank you so much for your contribution of the One Life Roadmap. I'm going to put that in the toolbox on Hiban Digital, and I'll put it in Timmy's show notes as well. And you can go to hibandigital.com/toolbox to get the whole toolbox, or text toolbox to 444-999, or just get it from Tim's show notes. Thank you, Timmy. Always a blast, buddy. Thanks for coming on.
Hey, it's my pleasure, Pat. Love you, brother. Hey, rock stars, get the goods in the woods. Dream it, plan it, live it. Love you. Peace out.
Thank you for watching Real Estate Rockstars. Please give us a review wherever you're watching or wherever you're listening. We eat feedback for breakfast, and I don't care whether you give me a 1-star review or a 5-star review. I just want the review. I want to know what we're doing right and what we're doing wrong. Would love to improve things. Hey, and listen, please subscribe. The more subscribers we get and the more reviews we get, the better guests we'll get for you in the future. Feel free to reach out to me anywhere on social media. Just type in my name. I'm everywhere, and I look forward to meeting you in the digital world. Have a great day, and thanks again for listening to Real Estate Rockstars.